but you can be safe from nuclear war. Oh, okay, now, well, as safe as you can be. Anyway, action has started here, Colombia versus Denmark, and Colombia has the ball immediately, and they're coming over, they're passing over to the left side. She holds it with two hands, not recommended, but it doesn't matter, she gets it over again, and her teammate is on the bottom, easily showing the one-on-one skills. She passes to her teammate on the right, and over on the strong side, they wait, they're playing around. We have lost the signal again. So, but actually it looks like it's going on the internet still, so I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Fabian's watching now on a privately owned computer. What does this mean, Fabian? The live stream?
I think so, but maybe we are 1 minute in the front, I don't know, and signal, okay, yes, maybe it's only that.
Alright, we're back, we have our picture television screen again. Colombia in blue is lying in defense, but they come out. So Denmark and Colombia, a scoreless game so far, but we haven't been playing very long. 13:30 showing on the clock. Colombia scores. It was an open goal there. Fabian, what happened there?
The goalkeeper wasn't there. I think they are playing too fast in the front, and then nobody is in the back, or they change too fast. I don't know.
There's a word in German, kaputt. The defense was kaputt there. There was no. What is the word?
Kaputt. I don't know. Kaputt. I think.
Too strong a word.
Yes.
Well, let's say there was a hole in the defense, and Colombia immediately took charge and put it in. 1-0 Colombian lead, and their good ball handling skills there. She held the ball away while she was swimming, kept it moving, and they brought it all the way over to Denmark's hassling. The Danes are pretty stable, though. Fairly. Fabian's not going to agree with me if he's questioning it, so we'll take that to be no. Fabian doesn't think that they're in a stable situation, but I think with when you consider 20-0, there was shoulder in the basket there. That could have been called a penalty. So a Danish player from above plucks the ball, but then she passes it straight to a Colombian, and the Colombian player comes in from above. She's looking for a pass. She doesn't find one, but she has a teammate. They pass it back and forth. The back is on the bottom. She sticks out her hand, interferes a little bit, but it's not possession of the ball. Now the backs have gone, and Colombia's got the goalie by herself, and this will be a goal soon if the Danes cannot shore up the defense. And they've got the goalies back, and luckily she survived that, but now a Danish ball, they have a chance to swim to the other side if they can keep the ball. That's a really big question now. Indeed, they lose the ball, and Colombia has stolen the goal, and it's now 2-0. That was a classic, you lose when you get the ball.
That's right. They fight very good in the back, and then the way to the goal, and you lose it. Then everybody is swimming up, getting air, and then you don't think you lose the ball so fast. Then that's a problem. Yes.
The transition, which is dangerous, and you have to clear your zone, and somebody doesn't make a good pass because they don't see the people who are coming in from above, and then they lose the ball, or it's stripped away by somebody, something like that. Colombia now, very solid defense. They're easily getting a lot of air before they go back down to the basket here, and they steal the ball, and they're going over. This is conditioning also. Their conditioning is superb. You don't see any sign that they're struggling and swimming fast all the time.
That's right. I think the game is fast and then maybe slow, and at the moment it's very. I can't see the ball, and it's on the top. Okay.
We've lost track of the ball, but the Colombian defense is in place, which means that probably Denmark, in theory, should have the ball. And now we see, indeed, Denmark on the left side, on the strong side, struggling with the forechecking. She dumps the ball down, and it's picked up by a Colombian player. No, they struggle for it. It's a contest. Who's going to get to the ball first? Denmark. So the Danish player, she passes to her teammate, who comes in the center, and she loses the ball, punched away. She gets it back, loses it, gets it back. No, they're fighting for it. And it's Colombia. Colombia headed on the right side, and the ball bounces away. There are no Danish players to get it there. And now the first forechecking comes in. She is got an arm, and that's all. Now they were fighting over their own goal.
I don't know why, but maybe the pressure is very high there, and
the Danish player there, she managed to tough it out and beat the Colombian player in the scramble for the ball. It's Denmark in the middle of the pool. The Danes are headed over, and can they put together an attack? We're doing really well here. We had some pizza. I have very high blood sugar right now, so if I'm talking fast, that's because, you know, when you're hungry and then you get the sugar, soon we'll go down. But anyway, it's Denmark on the left side. They're holding on to the ball. 2 forecheckers. This is the pattern with Colombia, which is a lot of trouble to have 2 people forechecking you, and sure enough, they strip the ball away.
that's right. Now the game. Yes, Denmark is very good this year, I think. They fight very, very good in the front and in the back, but you see sometimes there are many failures, and but you see they fight very hard, and wow.
Good stuff, says Fabian, and I agree. So Denmark moving out, but they leave an empty goal. Goal! So that's the 3-0 lead, and the pattern is clear that when Denmark gets the ball, they fail to clear their own zone. They lose the ball when their defense is missing, and then they suffered yet another goal. So Fabian, you missed it because someone was communicating with you, but you see it's 3-0, and it was the same sort of goal. Denmark got the ball, they were swimming out with the ball, they lost it. There was no goalie, no back, no forward, nobody. Everybody was going, and the Colombian player just swam in and easily put it bottom. There was no question that she was going to score. Now Denmark on the side of the pool, getting ready to take it out. It's a swim out. They need to get on the scoreboard. 8.5 minutes roughly remaining in this game, and they could. Do you think they will score, Fabian?
I hope so, but I think when they fight like they fight in the last 4 minutes, I think they scored a goal. Yes.
I like that. That swim out was really interesting because she swam on the surface and she had the ball up in her hand very high, and it was actually almost, it was out of the water halfway, not completely, but it was a fast swim out, and there was a lot of energy in it. I don't know who got the ball beneath, but what do you think about that? That's a good approach sometimes.
It can be very get problems with the Shiri. Oh, that was a very good chance, and Colombia don't score it. That's not so good. Yes, the goal outside the water is a very big problem, and
could be called also as a water, but anyway, the thing is, just now Colombia had a fantastic chance to score a goal, and she hit the rim of the basket, and now she just feels just terrible, and actually can disturb a player's playing, because after you do that, you can't think properly for at least a minute. I think a little while. Wouldn't it bother you if it happened to you, Fabian? You had an open goal and you hit the rim and you didn't score.
Oh, that's a very bad feeling. I think they are now very, very sad, and I think they would attack the goal very often now and would make the goal, so nobody can at the end say you you don't make the goal.
There you have it, a very bad feeling. That's a classic quote, and undoubtedly true. Words don't really describe that completely, but Denmark is playing well. They're holding together. They're not as strong a team because they can't keep up with the pace, but their basic strategy is sound, and they're managing to hold them off again for a while, but there's no back down right now, which is not a good situation. Again, Colombia down on the left side, coming in, and they're trapped. And the Danes pull out, but they can't. This goal stolen. All they have to do is get the ball to the player on the basket, and she can put it in.
Yes, typical situation. The goalkeeper is away, and you lay on the top, and you only have to wait that the ball comes, and yes, that's the Nancy goal.
Denmark should probably call timeout in a situation like this. We'll see what happens. Well, that was a brutal 10 minutes. It could be worse. It could have been much worse. At least 2 goals Colombia should have scored and didn't score. So it could easily have been 5 or 6-0. But Denmark has structurally play correctly, and they know what they're doing. They just can't keep up.
I think they will fight more in the background, but the problem is they forgot when they get the ball, they think they have time and go up, breathe, and forgot that the other player on the bottom have the ball, and 2 Colombian girls come to them, and the Denmark girl can't pass. And that's it.
No pass, and then they lose the ball. They jump back in the water after this. It must have been a timeout there, called probably by Denmark, because it was logical that Denmark should call timeout in that situation. And the Colombian girls have to feel that things are really going their way. They worked hard. They saved their money. It cost a lot of money to come to a competition like this. There's no government support in general for underwater rugby, or very little in a country like Colombia. So now Denmark's gotten all the way over to the goal. They're fighting. They've got players who can do things, but they lose the ball. And this is bad because they're not going to have a stable defense.
Yes, and now we have the problem, but there are 2 players in the back. That's good. And all players are now back, and now I think
nonetheless they were very tired after that dive.
yes.
The Colombian players are not losing their speed. They're playing at the same pace. Now she comes in, she's got the back. The forward came in just to right, or a defender, I don't know what she was, but
Directly 3 players on the girl. That's very cool.
yes. And now it's in the hands of the back. She goes out. She's got a good fast break on. She's got plastic fins. That didn't help her in this situation to have the wrong kind of fins.
That's right. Everyone play with Glasfaser and or GFK. I don't know what's called in English.
Carbon fiber?
Yeah. Yes. Right. And the normal plastic fins are very not so hard, and you can't not swim so fast, and that's not a good point against Colombia.
You have to have the speed that you could actually achieve. It was interesting there that the Danish woman, she had a chance to forecheck, take the ball away from the Colombian player, and she grabbed it with both of her hands. I think that was a mistake. She should go in with one hand underneath and rip it out.
Oh, that's the next goal. And yes, they should put it in one hand and swim, but I think it's the first time, and you are so...
Two hands. I think she should have grabbed it with one hand and go like that to get it out.
Yes, that's right.
These techniques, and that really, in my opinion, is because you don't play enough. If you play a lot, you will play with one hand.
That's right, but in Germany you you will sometimes I will also play with two hands, but I think when you play with many years, you play with one hand and you hold the ball inside your or offside. The new system is offside, and yes.
I don't mean to say that two hands is always wrong. That's not correct. Two hands is right in certain situations. Say, for example, if you're trying to score a goal, maybe you're going to push off the bottom, holding onto the ball with two hands, and then have a violent movement into the goal, and that's different. So, or if you lock up the ball, you made a decision. I'm going to hold it with two hands now, but I mean, to get the ball away from somebody, it's often one hand, which is better. There. Now, Colombia's coming in from above. She gets beneath the goalie. She's looking for her teammate. She finds her teammate. Her teammate's got a perfect position. I didn't even have time to say that it was going to be a goal.
That's right. Perfect position. The pass from the from above, and nobody is there to can put them away, and perfect.
So the Danish girls are trying to hold themselves together. I think they're still out there to fight. They want to score. They want to make as good a result, and it's 6-0 compared with last year 20-something. This is better.
At the moment, yes, but I think Denmark goals the goal and scores the goal, and yes, there will come a goal. I think so.
Fabian is optimistic that Denmark can get on the scoreboard, which is psychologically important. I mean, if one player leaves the game happy that they scored, that helps the mood of the team even. And I think it's important also that if you have a player on your team that you consider the strongest player, and that player cannot score a goal, it makes you feel that our team is not good enough because our strongest player could not score a goal. So if your best player scores a goal, you feel like, yes.
I think the team is not with the best player.
I mean, the player that you think they often score in practice. So.
I'm not so thinking about the team because there's no best player to goal score.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, right. There is one player that gives every time the assist, and the other player, maybe it's the best player, I don't know, they made a goal, and I think the best player is every time the assist player, because they put all from the goal away and give the perfect pass, and
the other player, indeed. So Fabian is reminding everybody that underwater rugby is a team sport, and we should not forget that it's not about individuals but a group of people who put together the situation. And in this case, Colombia has put together the situation, and they're doing it together, and it's not one Colombian star. Am I correct, Fabian?
That's right. Maybe one team has a best player, and but the problem is when this best player is not there, then they lose the game.
They're helpless.
Yes.
1 minute remaining in the first half, 7-0 lead to Denmark, and the Danish players go to the left side there, and then she comes in and she's above. She's fighting to get by two players, and she's doing a pretty good job, but now she's tied up. Now she drops the ball down to her teammate who's got the goalie, but the forechecking is good and she's tied up. Can she get the ball to a third player, or is she going to lose it? Now we can see that the Colombian players, no, they do. They come in with the third player, and she passes to a fourth. This is one of the best Danish attacks in a while, but now they've lost the ball. Colombia headed to the other side of the pool, tied up in the middle, and they come up to the surface for air. They're going to shoot down, or they pass it down. So, do you like this going up to the right side and pass back to the center?
Yes, I like it very much. I think it's a very good. You can bring the players in different positions, so you can maybe make a counter, or I don't know. You have more place in the pool, and the pool is not very deep here, and I think that's the only option.
To go in the center.
Yes.
So there you have it. It's halftime here in Sandefjord. You're watching the Sandefjord Underwater Rugby Diving Club's production coverage of the European Open Under 21 Championships. I don't know. They have written the word junior. Officially, it's called the Junior Championships. I don't like that term myself. I prefer Under 21 because junior, it sounds like then you have to say the seniors. But I don't know. Under 21, you got under 23, under 18. It's easier better for the description. The players are swimming to the other side of the pool, and it's dark outside now. It's winter in Norway, but there's a lot of snow on the ground. And Fabian, you brought your skis with you?
No, but it would be a great idea.
We're not very far away from the school where we're staying, so you could ski it, but there's snow everywhere. It's beautiful. And now we're looking at the Colombian bench here at halftime. They're very relaxed. They're laughing. This game is in the bag, of course, and they have a water coach. He's smiling. They're quite strict, the coaches in Colombia. They demand a lot of their players to play with the system and to do the things that they do properly. It's not a lot of individuality. Of course, there are individual stars, but everybody's supposed to work for the system. Fabian has no comment to this. This is too obvious. Don't say such obvious things and then ask Fabian. He's not going to. Well, what do you say here, Fabian? You hold the microphone and you tell us what's going on.
Right, we now see the Denmark trainer. I think they discuss about the problems in the back and in the front, and maybe they will bring some information that you are down when you pass, and
just when you finish playing.
Yeah. I think the coaches of the Colombian are very funny because of the pink shirts.
So what Fabian meant to say there is that the Colombian water coach, he's wearing a swimming suit which is pink, and even his cap is pink, matching. And I think they're produced by Gusebro, the Colombian designer, Pacho. He's a great underwater rugby player. He's also a clothing designer. So, I mean, aren't you going to buy from Pacho when you make your next club purchase of suits and everything? You don't have to have pink. There's no rule that says you have to have pink, Fabian. You can have another color as well.
That's right. I think blue and white is at the moment that colors for underwater rugby, but I think anytime there would be more colors like in the football, and yes, maybe pink, maybe yellow, maybe black, maybe green, white. Yes.
Yeah, so since the outcome of this game is really not in question, we'll of course cover it when it starts again. But I just want to ask you, Fabian, how much does it cost to play underwater rugby in Germany? What are the annual costs for a player?
The costs are the many time, and you have to pay the kilometers you drive. Yes, I think how often you play. Maybe when you are under 21, you can play in 2 teams in Germany. So you can play in the first Bundesliga and in the second, for example, and then you drive to Bamberg or to Malch or Freiburg, and it's very, very long and expensive ways.
So the sport's not you don't consider it to be a cheap sport by any means, no. Now that we have started the second half here, no score so far during the second half. Colombia with the ball coming over. Of course, it's easier for Denmark to defend after they've had a rest at halftime, and it will be interesting if they can lose only 14-0. That's still not too bad. Can they keep their energy levels up? That's the question. So
That's right.
Colombia coming in from the left side, pass over to the center. She's coming over looking for the goalie's back. The goalie spins round and gets her hands on the ball. She's going to take the risk. She's doing the fetal position, and she manages to get it out and pass back to the goalie. That's not a good recommended. That's the sort of thing that I would do. It's not correct.
That's right. Never pass back to the goalkeeper.
Unless you're Colombian, then it's okay. So if you're Colombian, you can get away with these things because people are moving really quickly and they see each other. They make eye contact first. Oh, fast break, one-on-one. She's got the goalie's back. She lifts the goalie off, and somehow it doesn't go in. It's another unbelievable miss. So Colombia should have at least 3 more points that they have not gotten.
That's right. That's a goal, and yes, I don't know why they score this goal, but maybe now. No. But the goalkeeper from Denmark are laying very strong on this goal. I think they're very good in this position. The Colombian girls have no chance to get this girl outside this goal.
This goalkeeper is great.
That's right. No,
Can we see her number? She's been there forever.
I think it's 7. Yes.
We get to remember that name, number 7. How is it that she didn't pass out? She was there for a really, really long time.
Maybe. Oh! And that was the next very good chance for Colombia. Maybe the concentration of Colombia is not so good at the moment. Oh.
This will be a goal.
Yes. There was no air. Yes.
Be back. Keep talking, Fabian.
Okay. Yes. Denmark has the ball and pass. 3 Colombian girls fighting against the ball, and no, they holding the ball. No, maybe that. No, they don't swim to the goal. I think that's a big problem of Denmark. Oh. And they're laying perfectly now with. They see the girl, but they pass wrong, and now the ball goes. So my colleague shows me the German guys. They're warming up for the next game, and they like the German girls because his girlfriend also played there, and I think he's very happy about this. We see number 7 there. So I think Denmark only have two goalkeepers. They only on the top and not on the front, and that's a very interesting system. And yes. Oh, there's a goal. There was a problem. There was a big hole in the goal, and maybe it was a change failure of the Denmark side. But then don't want to give up this game and fight for the goal, and that's very cool. Colombia has the ball. Oh, there's a foul. Free throw for Denmark. Okay, they lose the ball and the free throw, and it's the chance. No. The Denmark defense is very strong. And that's a chance. No. Yes, they're fighting very hard, but I think Colombia is not concentrating so much, and they can more. And there's a chance. Yes, yes, that's a goal. 10-0 for Colombia. Very cool.
Okay, I'm back here, and I can inform you, Fabian, that goalie who was doing all those terrific saves, that was Puck Bodenhoff. And actually, I wrote a whole article about Puck Bodenhoff, and it's really incredible. But her father gave 50,000 Danish kroner to the Danish national team so they could go to Cali, because they didn't have any money. They only had, in total, 100,000 Danish crowns from the federation. The federation didn't like underwater rugby very much, and 100,000 Danish crowns, that's not that much money for a trip to Colombia. That's like 10,000 euro. So with only 10,000 euro, the men and women's teams were fighting for the, who was going to get this money. And then Puck Bodenhoff's father said, look, my company can give 50,000, and the Federation of Denmark, did they write a letter to thank her father for this money? No.
Oh my god.
They didn't even send a Christmas card, no thank you note, no email, no telephone call, nothing. It's like, okay, so what?
That's very sad, I think.
It is sad, and I have already told the story in the writing in the article, but I thought I would share it with you, Fabian, so that you would know how brave these Danish players are, that with no money, somehow they made it. Like the Colombian players, it's hard when there's no money. VDST is a more responsible organization. There is a structure, people work, they have a good website. Oh, another goal. So Colombia is now leading 11-0, but it could be worse.
Yes, that's right. We need more sponsors, I think, on this sport, and the live stream and the pictures, major teams, commentators are one way to get these sponsors, because they see what advertising they can place, and I think that's a very good way to get sponsors on this.
You have a blog yourself Very nice blog, I would say. And how often do you update it?
I don't update it so much, but because I'm programming at the moment on a result program for underwater rugby, and that's the next goal for F0 now.
So, for you, those of you who don't know, in Germany there are I know two primary sources of information about underwater rugby. One is Hannes Hoffmann's underwater number one, UWR1.de, and that is a very informative site, even for a foreign player who doesn't speak German, because you could just Google Translate or click Translate and you can see more or less what they're saying. They have a very good forum. Hannes doesn't write so many articles, but it's a site that's full of information, and it's well trafficked. It has a lot of traffic. And then you have your blog, which is, okay, you don't get paid, so you do, cool stuff. It's about cool stuff.
That's right. UWR1 is, in my opinion, one of the best sites over UWR, because you can get all information over events and can discuss there about new rules, or can discuss about the Euro League. And yes, I think there was a new way, and I saw the option, and there was first a blog about my club, TC Offenburg, a small village in Germany, and I read only articles about them, and then I said I want a big blog, because I visit so many tournaments and not with Offenburg, and yes, then I created this blog, and now oh my god there was one more chance. Yes, I made video blogs because I think there were no videos, and next goal.
But that was great defending by the goalies. The Danish goalies are hot stuff. You know this expression, hot stuff. They're good.
Yes.
I like the way they spin. That's what you got to do. You can't just wait for the person to hit you. You got to make yourself unavailable. So 13-0. So your blog is mostly video, and you have good. Is your? I think I have lost your. No. Did you use publicly available music on your after games video?
Yes, at some videos I use them because it's very big better with music with copyright. But the most movies are with no copyright sounds, and yes.
No goal holding.
Yes. Yes. But the copyright problem is a very big problem, and yeah.
So there you have it. Check out Fabian's blog, and I'm a big fan ever since I discovered it, and even though I don't know German. It's now 13-0. Colombia has a quite overwhelming lead with less than 4.5 minutes left in the game. Colombia's coming over and trying to score again. The Danes have really put up, in some ways, a really great struggle, because they have stopped the Colombians from scoring over and over and over again. But what the problem is, when they get the ball, they cannot clear the zone. So they get about 2 or 3 meters from the goal, 4 or 5 meters from the goal, and then they lose the ball and they're back on defense. That's very tiring, and it just means that you're going to be suffering these problems. And they should have been a goal again, but the goalie is just too clever, really good, and they have her now. They should score. It's was it a goal?
No, that wasn't a goal. That was a foul, because the Colombian girl of the other side without a ball pressed the goalkeeper up, and that was.
So it was contact without possession of the ball.
That's right.
I thought maybe they would call it wedging or something like that, but no, it was. Now Denmark comes in on the right side. They have a good position on the goal, but can they keep the ball? If they don't keep the ball, they're not going to be able to get any rest. Offense is the best time to rest.
That's right. I think so too. But some players say defense is the best way. I think it's different. When you have the players, they are very fast and very good defense. You can wait in the defense that all players from the enemy is on your side, and you can then take a very fast goal.
Oh wow! A speculative, really nice pass over the top there, and she could have scored, but instead the Danish player ties her up. They head to the surface for another scrum fight. Good stuff here. Denmark is playing with a lot of spirit.
That's right. 13-0 is a very high, and they also have the hope to score a goal. It looks like they're very... Oh, okay. Bad.
They're tired, of course, and you can't defend at this rate for such a long time and not really be tired. And one of the things that you can see, if you've never been playing underwater rugby, it's a little hard to understand. It's like somebody is fighting, defending, and they do a good job, and then they more or less stop the player who has got the ball, but they don't stay to the very end of the fight, and they let that person have peace and quiet in order to pass to the next person. And that's because they feel like I fought, and then they just didn't have any more air left. They had to go up.
That's right. I'm also a defense player, and you play in the front, fight, and then you lost the ball, swim back, and then you hope you can play the defense so good you can, but sometimes you haven't the air to protect your goal.
I wonder where Stian is. We have to get him back on here. Oh. Okay.
So Denmark plays with two 14 years old girls. So the rule.
Can you tell us their names? We're gonna. Oh no. Okay. So Denmark has two very young players, and they're surviving this pressure. But of course, this is the kind of experience that will keep them strong. When they're 20 years old, they will be even better. Yeah. It's hard to not be fully grown and to fight against people who are fully grown. It's that simple.
But in 6 years, they have so much experience. I think they can catch Colombia.
If a 14-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy is playing, he has no beard, and he's playing against a guy who's 20 years old and has already completely finished his growth and has lifting weights, it's a very hard contest. So that's why some people say there should be under 18 competitions as well. Colombia is still fighting on the bottom there. They're tied up. The Danish player, she's in a battle of strength, but then a new Colombian player comes in to take the ball from her, and that means that she's going to be really tired, and I predict she will not keep the ball, and it will go down into the hands of Colombia again. Now it's one-on-one of the goal. The goalie spins around very well, and the Danish forward comes in at the right time, but that was close. But Colombia has missed so many goals, they deserve to get this one.
That's right, and the goalkeeper lay there since 20 seconds, I think, and that's so much time, and no change partner is coming down, and
tired out. So this game is now down to the final minute, but it's only 15-0, not 20-0 like last year or whatever it was. So it is a better result percentage-wise.
That's right, and the game was very interesting. I think there are many chances from Denmark and also many chances from Colombia they didn't make, and that's points they made it very interesting again.
The Danish players are stopping the Colombians at the last second over and over again, and that's it's not an accident. It's because they plan to do this, but it's too close, and that's why there are so many goals. And she gets away, but she can't hold on to the ball. She'll be tired out. She'll have to go. But she holds on. Amazing.
Wow, yes. There is a very, very high fight there to win this against Colombia. Not so high, I think.
This game is more or less over now. 11 seconds showing on the TV screen clock, but it could be maybe that there are even less time left. So a free throw. It will be the last free throw of this game, probably. And Denmark has lost the ball, and Colombia is going back over. Are they going to let in another goal? And we don't see what happens. This game is over. There it is.